The train screeched as it slowed, but inside the cabin, everything felt completely still. Because in that single moment, the moment that would soon shake an entire city, an 8-year-old girl named Lila Chen simply reached down to pick up her book, a bright yellow novel she carried. Everywhere, and that was all it took. A stranger's hand shot forward. A voice exploded. And suddenly, violence tore through the cabin like a lightning strike. No one expected it. No one was ready. But in the next 90 seconds, the life of Lila and her mother would change forever. This is the story of how pain became power, how a mother turned fear into courage, and how one family taught the world a lesson it would never forget. Dr. Sarah Chen, one of the busiest ER doctors in the city, had just finished a 12-hour shift. Her daughter Lila was her sunshine, her laughter, her reason to keep fighting through stress and exhaustion. All they wanted that day was a peaceful ride home, but peace was the last thing they received. Across from them sat a man in his early 40s, eyes restless, jaw tight, he murmured to himself. Threw frustrated glances at everyone around him. Some passengers noticed. Some didn't. But Sarah, exhausted and leaning against the rail, missed the early warning signs. Lila didn't. She felt the way his eyes kept darting toward them. Toward the book in her tiny hands. But she did what little girls often do. She tried to ignore it, until the train jerked. Her book slipped. It slid across the floor. She bent down to pick it up, and the man suddenly lunged. His arm slammed against her shoulder. His voice boomed, filled with rage. "Don't move! You people think you can take whatever you want!" Lila gasped, confused, terrified. Sarah spun around, her instincts snapping awake. "What are you doing? That's my daughter!" The carriage erupted into chaos. Passengers froze. Some reached for their phones. Some whispered. Some simply stared as an 8-year-old girl tried to understand why a grown man was screaming at her for touching her own book, and that was only the beginning. The footage spread like wildfire. A grainy clip. A little girl bending down. A man attacking her out of nowhere. A mother screaming. Passengers frozen. Within hours, millions had seen it. Within a day, the city was roaring. Protests, interviews, commentaries. Celebrities posting the clip with captions like, "Protect our children." "This can't happen again." Justice for Lila. But through all of this, Lila stayed silent. She wouldn't talk to reporters. She wouldn't explain what happened. She wouldn't even touch the book she loved. The world had turned loud. But inside her home, everything was quiet. Too quiet. Sarah watched her daughter sit on the couch for hours, hugging her knees, staring at nothing. The girl who once loved stories now avoided them. The child who once laughed every morning now barely smiled. The voice that once filled the apartment had grown soft, hesitant, afraid, and that was when Sarah finally said the words that would change everything. "You hurt my daughter. But you didn't break her." She posted them on her private account. Just a picture of her holding Lila's hand with that single caption. Within 48 hours, it became a rallying cry. Millions reposted it. Parents quoted it. Survivors embraced it. Children across the country held signs with those words. But the most important thing wasn't the world reacting. It was Lila reacting. For the first time in days, she whispered, "Mom, we didn't break, right?" Sarah smiled through tears. "No, baby. We bend, but we don't break." The man who attacked Lila was arrested. New witnesses stepped forward. Passengers testified. The conductor confirmed the timeline. Even a teenager provided a second video from his phone. The case grew stronger, but the fight was far from over. The man's lawyer tried everything. She provoked him. "It was an accident. My client has mental health issues." She misinterpreted the situation. But Sarah attended every hearing, every meeting, every press conference, calm, composed, unshakable. She didn't yell. She didn't insult. She didn't accuse. She spoke with a voice so steady, so filled with purpose, that even the court reporters wrote about her dignity. "The truth," she said, "is simple. My daughter was attacked, and children deserve protection, not excuses." People listened. Judges listened. The nation listened, and finally, after months of hearings, the verdict arrived: guilty. The courtroom was silent. as the judge read the sentence. But Sarah wasn't thinking about punishment. She was thinking about Lila. When they stepped outside, reporters swarmed, microphones everywhere, cameras flashing. Sarah gently placed her hand on her daughter's back and said, "My daughter is strong. She is healing. And today, we move forward. And for the first time since that day on the train, Lila lifted her head and said softly, 'I'm not scared anymore.'" 1 year later, a small community center buzzed with excitement. Children ran around holding books, bright yellow ones just like Lila's. Sarah stood at the front of the room. Lila stood beside her. This was the first ever meeting of their non-profit program, a movement dedicated to giving children safe reading spaces, providing therapy resources, and teaching families how to navigate trauma with strength and support. Every child who joined got a free book, a symbol of what had been taken from Lila that day, and what she now reclaimed. Lila stepped up to the microphone. Her hands trembled at first. Then she took a deep breath. The same breath her mother taught her to take the night of the attack, and she spoke. "My book fell. A man hurt me, but I'm not afraid anymore, because my mom helped me be brave, and now I want other kids to be brave too." The room erupted in applause. Sarah placed her arm around her daughter, whispering, "You're turning pain into power, sweetheart. I'm so proud of you." Lila grinned, holding her book close to her chest, and in that moment, the train attack felt like a distant shadow, something that had tried to break her, but instead built her into something stronger. A survivor, a leader, a symbol of hope, because the world learned a powerful lesson. Hate can bruise a child, but love makes them unbreakable.